The time is now 5 o'clock. It is Monday, February 27th, and I'm going to call the Public Safety and Licensing Committee to order. And the first thing we have on our agenda is an actionable item, and it's an approval of the minutes from February 13th meeting.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? All right, the next thing on the agenda is 0177-23. This is a communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of Tom Mobeck, Director of Parks and Recreation and Cultural Services, requesting that Mound Cemetery Section 5 and Graceland Section 5, 7, 18, and 22 alleyway surveys be approved, allowing for future sales of additional grave sites. Is Tom online? What's that? Okay. All right. Being that we don't have the director present, if the committee doesn't mind, we will just move that item down on the agenda and then take up 0191-23.
That would be what Tom said.
Yeah.
Oh, that is? Okay, well, let's move it one more down. All righty. Thank you. We will jump to 0167-23, communication sponsored by Alder McCarthy, submitting an application for a new massage establishment, licensed Hunan Spa, and this is located at 906 State Street, and Yakin Young, owner, present?
Yes.
I'm so sorry if I botched your name. Did I do okay? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Would you mind coming and sitting before us here at this table?
Right up here.
I'll just use this.
Oh, there's a chair behind you if you would like.
Oh, okay.
You have helpers.
Hello, I'm Terrence Tynan. I'm a real estate agent with Remax Newport Elite out of Kenosha, and my home address is 6805 102nd Street in Pleasant Prairie.
Okay, I do see you on our public input. Thank you. And you're Yakin Young? Okay, perfect. I would just ask before we start this communication, I would just ask that everything that you tell us will be the truth? Okay, thank you. All right, I see that you have an application for an establishment. What would you like to tell us about this?
All right. May I speak for her? I met her in 2015 in Kenosha as a therapist for a Fox Studio on 22nd Avenue, 7523. And she ultimately bought that place, and I was assisted in the legal or the lease part of it, and have known her ever since. And all I can say, she's a very industrious young lady. She works very hard. One of the first thing I would like to just give you is the copy of her copy. This is
I think
thank
we
you.
have a copy
Oh.
of that. We do have a
We have
copy
that.
of that.
Oh, you have a copy?
We do, but
Very
thank
good.
you for that.
She worked very hard for this. I believe it's 1,000 hours, what I understand, of class study.
Okay.
So, and that
Thank you.
plus work on the job. And then she's worked, I can safely say that while she was my client in the real estate deals, I was one of her, off and on, I was a client of hers. So I had first-hand experience of what her shop looks like and how she runs it and everything else. And I can certainly attest to the fact that she is totally professional and responsible. And she runs the business, or the practice like it should be run. And, in fact, I was fortunate enough to meet one of her other clients who is convinced that he's walking today because of the treatment that she has administered him. And in fact, I see now I'm gonna be using her because of I have, what's that called, Patty? Neuropathy, I can't ever think of that name. I have neuropathy and I need blood circulation work on my lower legs. So I'm looking forward to that. But I brought you two, she spent considerable amount of time and money to get this place ready. It's in an older building. I forget the name of it, but it's at 906 Chicago. I'm sorry, 906 State. And, so there was a lot of things that had to be done to make it capable to, to operate as a massage studio and also to satisfy the requirements of the city. So I'll just pass that on to you too.
Okay. Well, thank you, Terry. If you just want to hold any additional thoughts, we might have some questions from the committee.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Committee, do you have any questions?
How many establishments do you run right now?
One.
One? She's not
She
working?
doesn't run any right now. She's working for someone now.
Oh, okay, all right, so this will be her first actual ownership?
No, sir. No, sir. There were from 2015, when she took that place over, then she sold that, and I helped her get a lease at 3927 39th Avenue, which was Hunan Spa, which she operated, ultimately sold, and then I helped her on a lease at 5004 22nd Avenue. So she's been a proprietor of, I lost count, three? And otherwise, when she's not a proprietor, she's working as a therapist for someone else.
My basis for the question was, how much time will she be spending there versus other employees? How much time will she be there as a manager, or how much time will she be there as working?
Oh, per day? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, she can answer that. I'm afraid it's a 24/7 situation, and she was gonna be the sole proprietor
that's what I'm asking, yeah.
at that time, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know how many people she'd have working for her, or if somebody else
Not
would be
at the
working.
present. Now, that's not to say she won't in the future, and she's had other people work for her in the past.
Okay.
But right now, she wants to.
This
go
will be her
alone.
main source of income, her main job at this point in time. This will be her main job at this point in
Oh,
time.
this is her only thing. Yeah,
All right,
this
thank
is-
you.
This is what she's trained herself for.
Thank you.
Is there any other committee members who have some questions?
What are your hours gonna be? I mean, 'cause I don't know if we got
Hours?
something from, what do you, what,
Yeah, every day. 9:30?
Nine and then 9:30.
Say it again?
Open 9 and then 9:30.
9 in the morning till 9:30 at
9:30
night.
at night.
guess my question is that okay with the hours? Do we have any restriction on hours for that?
There are restrictions in the ordinance, let me just double check to make sure that they fall within those codes. Minute.
I don't see it.
Doesn't require it, so. Suggests to me that there aren't any limits.
The only requirement in the ordinance is that massage establishments not operate before 6 AM and no later than 10 PM, so it does fall within those limits.
Make sure she's aware of that. Catch that, the hours of operation,
6:30 to
6 AM till 10 PM.
to 10 PM, yes. She's well within that.
Yeah, just as long as she's aware of that.
Yes.
So if she gets a customer coming
I
in.
wasn't aware of the exact words of the ordinance, but,
So just so she's aware of it.
that works very well, yeah.
Is there any concerns from the city on this at all? Did she have to do a good neighbors meeting for this type of establishment, or no?
No,
No kind of concerns?
none that I'm aware of.
All right, hearing there's no concerns, do you have any other questions for the applicant?
Do you plan on hiring any people at all in the future?
Yeah.
It should have depends on the business.
Okay. And this
You
is,
hear?
yeah, and this is just Monday through Friday, am I correct?
No, 7 days a week.
Worry about it burning herself
So,
out.
I told you she was a hard worker.
Hard-working lady.
Okay, do we have any other questions for the applicant? If not, this is an actionable item.
Make a move to approve.
Second. A motion to approve in a second. Any other further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? All right. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You'll get your final, approval at the city council meeting, and the date, please, of that?
Next Tuesday.
Gotta go through council
It has
first.
one step more for approval. You don't need to attend, but one more step on Tuesday, and that's when it will be final.
She doesn't need to attend.
No.
She can't operate until she's received the word.
So her question is, when she, her business license will be granted, like when she can open the business?
Probably by,
So as long as all of her sign-offs are complete by next Tuesday, you could give us a call Wednesday, just to check on everything. So give us a call the day after, we'll check to make sure it was approved, and then we'll make sure all their sign-offs are done.
Okay.
Could you tell us who may not have signed off as yet?
I don't have that
Or is everyone
information.
I don't have that information right now. You can give us a call tomorrow at the clerk's office, and I can look at it. Yep.
Will do.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you very much, everybody.
We all may need
I think
you.
she'll be a real credit to the neighborhood as well as the
I
city.
already prepared a third time already. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Have a good evening. If the committee doesn't mind, would we, I see that the Director of Public Works, of Parks is here. We can go back to the first item on the agenda.
Alderman Cook.
Yep.
Let's see, Jeff, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Come here. Where'd she go? That wasn't. This is the alderman of the ward that you, Alderman Cook.
Yeah.
We're gonna continue with our meeting, but there is a water
I'll
bottle
stop by
against
and
the
talk
wall
to you.
over there.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Young, is that your water bottle?
Oh, that's fine. Sorry about this.
Thank you.
All right. Agenda item 0177-23, this is, subject, this communication is sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of Tom Molbeck, Director of Parks and Recreation Cultural Services, requesting that Mound Cemetery Section 5 and Graceland Sections 5, 7, 18, and 22 alleyway survey be approved, allowing for future thank you sales of additional grape. Director.
So, yes, good evening. About the last year and a half, we've been working with Neil Matson Barber to increase our available grave space in those areas of Graceland Cemetery and Mound. What they are is alleyways that, well, they were once alleyways, and now if you have them surveyed, have them marked correctly, and then certify them through the county, you can now start selling those areas. And the areas that we picked were ones that were very popular over the last couple of years, that loved ones were having a hard time finding a spot that was close to their family. Sometimes it was 4 or 5 blocks over just because of what they were looking for. This will now allow us to be able to do that at a better job doing that for the families that are looking to be closer. And it just gives us, more numbers. I wish I had the numbers in front of me. I apologize, I thought the meeting was tomorrow at 5, so I apologize. But
We did receive some numbers.
yeah, I think it was a little over 100. And then, you know, if you multiply that by about the $1,200 that you get for a grave site and then opening, closing, it's a pretty good dollar amount. So not only is it allowing us to provide more space for the community, but it also will bring in some revenue as well.
Very good. Question? Alder Cohen and Alder
Yeah,
Peterson?
it says alleyways, what do you mean? Are you eliminating alleys, or?
Yeah, so back in the day, cemeteries were set up in blocks. And in between, for horse and buggies and people to walk to be able to get to their loved ones, they had alleyways. It's very common now that to add space, that you take some of the alleyways that necessarily aren't used as much as they used to be anymore for that. People can walk between, vehicles can go above the headstones. It's pretty common that, alleyways are now being surveyed and marked for, grave space.
Okay, no, I thought this meant like alleyways were property owners.
Oh,
That's
no,
what I
no,
was-
this
that's what
is
I-
within, yeah. And the
Okay.
reason why it has to come here is in order for, the plans, to be certified, they have to have a resolution and council approval before they go over to the county for filing. So that's why it's really coming in front of,
How many spaces are you talking about in, Mound?
Mound, it was a little less.
89.
Yeah, 89.
Okay, thank you.
I think the total was almost 200 or something like that.
200 and some at Graceland.
Yeah.
A little more than that, almost 300. Alder Peterson?
Is there a cost incurred for doing all this? It's great, something that has to be done, we need the space.
Yes.
But when you talk about getting $1,200, I mean, are we removing any material, adding material, grass? I mean, what is it, grass at this point in time, or is it concrete or grass?
Yeah, all alleyways are all grassland, grass area. And really, we're doing nothing but, we paid Nielsen, Metz and Barber a professional service dollar amount to plot it and make sure it was done correctly. So when you guys do finally approve it next Tuesday, then it would go to Register of Deeds, I think it is. And then once that goes over there, we get the approval to start selling those graves. So we're really not missing anything, not messing anything up.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I guess one.
Okay, please, Alder
How
Cohen.
much, so it's grassy areas, how close are these graves? Are they gonna be on top of each other, or?
No, typically, a lot is made up of 10, grave sites, that's about 4 by 8.
Okay.
And these fit perfectly, so you'll be able to fit them right in, right along with the other blocks.
Okay.
I do have a question for you, Director Mulbeck. The 89 additional grave sites for Mound Cemetery, would that area that's being proposed as Section 5, would it cover any of the area that was contested many years ago when we had a public outcry?
No,
Okay,
no, that section is back further into the
Okay.
circle area.
very good. That was my question I had for you. Any additional questions from the committee? If not, this is an actionable item.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for approval. Any additional comments or questions? None. All those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next agenda item, 0191-23, communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of Matt Witt and Kathy Schillinglaw from the Wisconsin Humane Society, requesting to host a large-scale pet vaccination event for cats and dogs that reside in 53404 zip code. Request includes temporarily suspending ordinance section 7-90, animals prohibited, May 20th, 2023, from 9 to 1 at Lincoln Park. What can you add?
This is the second year. Last year it was held at Heck Park. Unfortunately, because of rain, they had a lower, attendance. They figured they could get about 200. They came back, they said that Heck Park would work, but they'd like to see, Island Park, but we said Island Park is so much stuff going on with construction and everything that was not gonna be a spot. So they were looking for another park in the 04 area, and we told them that Lincoln Park was a good spot. It did have a bathroom up the way that could be used by their staff, and that it had an open area back where the park kind of enters into, Colonial Park, where the old shelter used to be back there. Really, all we're doing, because of there's no animals really technically allowed in Lincoln Park, that we're asking for it to, temporarily be suspended for the time that they're asking for this event to be on that Saturday, I think from 11 to 1.
9 to 1?
9 to 1, thank you.
No problem. Questions from the committee?
Is there any way of piggybacking licensing with this, or seeing if dogs are licensed?
No.
Is there a way of providing somebody, I know there's always a cost of having somebody work, this is probably a Saturday,
Yeah.
but is there a way of piggybacking to try and get more people licensed? Because I know the majority of dogs aren't licensed.
Yeah, I know that, last year, Dottie K actually, in the verbiage, said that she approved of this event. I'd have to ask if that was something that they would be of interest in doing, if that was what they wanted to do. In fact, I'm meeting with the health department, I think tomorrow at 4 o'clock, to talk about some other things that I can bring that up and see if that would work, but I can't remember if that was part of it last year or not.
It would be nice that, I mean, obviously you want dogs vaccinated, but they're also supposed to be licensed, so it's a good chance to.
Yeah, right now it's for vaccinations at this point.
Right, thank you.
I might be afraid of, if we were to do that, or to look over those who are getting licensed, looking to see if vaccinated, looking to see if they had license, that there'd be some type of targeting, and we'd probably have a lower number of attendance. So that would be my concern with something like that, but I do understand we have a push for wanting them to be licensed.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that you enforce it, I'm suggesting you have the ability to get a license while you're there.
Just maybe a proposal, without looking at the vaccination applicants, or.
Just
those
having
who
the
come
service
in.
available if you want it.
Or maybe there's information on how to go about doing it,
Yeah.
something like that.
Literature, it should be fine.
Committee members? No questions? Full item,
To approve. Second.
and moved and seconded for approval. Any other, discussion or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
For any opposed? Passes.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Move right back down on the agenda here. Communication, this is 0093-23. This is communication sponsored by Alder McCarthy, requesting the appearance of Stephanie Algren for an operator's license. Is Stephanie here? This item has been before us 2 times, so, with that, in the past, we have.
Move to deny.
Good.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of denial, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next on the agenda is 0201-23. This is a communication sponsored by Alder McCarthy, submitting an application for a Class B and Class C fermented malt beverage and wine license for Main Project Cafe. And this is located at 1014 State Street, DeAndre Mayfield. Do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. We're here to hear a little bit about what you have plans for.
I have a coffee shop / restaurant now. And a lot of people that I have different events, people come at nighttime, they want, a cup of beer, glass of wine, so trying to expand a little bit.
Okay.
Responsibly.
Thank you. Questions from the committee?
What are your hours gonna be? I thought you should tell midnight on.
Well, when I have certain events, I'm closed on Saturdays at 1 o'clock, and I close Sunday all day. So it'll be a Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. But occasionally I have events, dinner parties, things like that. So then it'll go no later, I would say midnight, but I've never been there past 11 o'clock.
And you'll have a place separating the alcohol from,
Absolutely.
I've been there a couple of times for the coffee and the food, and I know it's a nice place. Not too bad, so.
Thank you. I did see we had a Good Neighbors meeting.
Yes.
Is there something that you would like to pull out from that, or?
Sure, I
for
can-
attention?
I can summarize it for the
Sure.
committee. So I met with Mr. Mayfield, along with Mr. Vontas, I believe, on the Good Neighbors meeting. We discussed a few things. He is applying for a beer license as well as a wine license, so this is different from a full Class B license. In order to qualify for the Class C license, which is the wine license, he does primarily have to operate as a restaurant and a cafe. I explained to Mr. Mayfield that even though he is extending his hours, he would have to continue to operate primarily as a cafe and a restaurant, meaning at least 50% of his profits has to come from food or coffee, and not from alcohol. If it ever gets to the point where you make more than 50% or at least 50% from alcohol, then you no longer qualify for a wine license, and then you would only have the beer license. So we would address that issue if it ever gets there, but hopefully it doesn't get there. The hours of operation, as he stated, he is operating till 9 o'clock at this time. He is requesting that he be able to close on Fridays and Saturdays at midnight rather than 9 o'clock when he does have special events. Obviously, with an alcohol license, once the committee approves the hours, those are the hours, so he can do that whenever he wants during those hours. And then after midnight, he would only have to have staff on the premises, so no patrons afterwards, and the staff would have to be conducting employee-related services. We also discussed his experience. Mr. Mayfield does have experience, obviously, running a coffee in the restaurant. He has done so at least for the past year, as I understand it. Neither he nor Mr. Vontas, the co-owner of the coffee shop, have any specific experience in the alcohol industry, so I did provide them with a publication from the Department of Revenue so that he can review those. I also reviewed some of the very specific, city-specific regulations with him, so that he kind of knows the basics. He is more than welcome to contact me if he has any questions. As far as the background check, as the committee is aware, according to the guidelines, based on any felony conviction that substantially relates, that would disqualify Mr. Mayfield. In this case, he does have 2 felony convictions from 1997 and then 2006. So on paper, he is disqualified. However, if the committee finds that he has presented sufficient evidence of rehabilitation, the committee can approve his application. I believe that he has submitted a letter from the former chief of police, Art Howell. You should have that in front of you. I believe Chief Howell is here in person today as well. And in addition, because he is applying as the agent of the premises, the committee also has to find that he is of satisfactory character, record, and reputation in order to approve him. So if you find that he either did not present evidence of rehabilitation that's sufficient, or that he is not of satisfactory character, record, and reputation, you can deny the application based on those grounds. We also talked about other businesses on premises. So with a alcohol beverage license, particularly with a Class B beer license, the state does prohibit any other business from being located on the same premises as the place that serves alcohol. So in this case, Mr. Mayfield occasionally sells furniture out of his premises that he restores, as well as he runs occasional meetings for project restoration. I did inform him that neither of these businesses can be located on the premises. Certainly, he can use the coffee shop for meetings from time to time, but he cannot conduct or locate any business on the premises. So he would have to close both of those businesses out of those premises. So he would have to locate them somewhere else or operate somewhere else. If he does operate any other business on the premises, he would not qualify for an alcohol license. We also discussed some police issues. Sergeant Legath here indicated that there's no history of nuisance issues associated with the premises, and he encouraged Mr. Mayfield to call for assistance whenever needed. So those are the things we discussed with me.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And so I'll just fire just 2 questions at you and open it up since we have some other additional questions. hearing about your restoration business, are you in a position to relocate that?
Yes.
Okay.
Sadly, yes.
Because you have such a huge, vast space in there, so I can understand why that,
Well, it was a question of it, but I understand what she's saying. It's part of the coffee shop.
yeah.
Like even when I used to build bars, like coffee bars for people, it's just part of the coffee shop. But getting into bedroom things and things like that, I can understand it. So it is a separate business.
Okay.
I hadn't ran it as a coffee shop business, so it makes sense.
And, I frequented your establishment, and it's, very well put together, and I can see that there's been a lot of positive community response to it, and I've seen an uptick in social events there, and I think just recently, you had one, a comedy. I was not able to make it, but wanted to. How was the out?
It was the funniest sober event ever.
That's fantastic.
That's a good thing.
So is that, and I hope it's just gonna be vast, so I'm not trying to make you have to be a narrow answer to this, but are those type of events are what we are to see in the future?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Positive things for grown folks to do,
Yeah,
aside from going to the bar. Most of my people don't go to bars. So I'm just trying to create that space where our grandmothers and mothers can come to.
I appreciate that. So we just not too long before this meeting got a letter from Howell, the former chief of police, who's actually not here today unless he's out in the hall, but, I don't know if the committee, I don't know if the committee was able to look at that, or if we needed some time to, if we needed some time to take a look at it. I was able to quickly skim it before I got here, but, did the committee have an opportunity? Because if we were to, if we were to be able to, approve this, you know, this letter holds a lot of weight into that approval, so just want to give you ample time, please. Yep.
Hi, Ms. Vacy, and I guess a lot of us have been in there. It's a very nice space, and, I know outside of there that you help, like, mentor young kids as well, to try to keep our youth on the right track, so appreciate that, and appreciate that, Chief Howell, former Chief Howell was able to do that letter for you.
Please,
And I just wanna say, I mean, it's nice to see State Street's been so dead, they have some positive things going on. I just hope it, continues in a positive way. I wholeheartedly support this item.
Appreciate it.
Alder Jarrett.
Parking, because when I've been there, we usually have to park on the street. I know there's like a municipal parking lot across the street.
24 hours.
Okay, we've had other, establishments that have utilized their, clients have utilized municipal parking lots and stuff like that, and then they kind of run into some problems. That's something you have to keep in mind, because then when you have.
One or two more businesses end up on State Street, we might be in trouble. Because parking is, we have 24 stalls across the street. You can park on the side street over there as well, but it's like any other business. Down the street from us, they have even less parking. They're just on the street, and every storefront is filled. They have parking in the back, which people don't like to park in. They make it happen, so I'm sure I can make it happen.
Okay, just a heads up on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Alder Cole?
What is your capacity in there?
75 right now.
75, and you have the capacity to be full with your staff and everything? Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions from the committee? Any from the attorney, the police, or the clerk's office? Alrighty, a motion is in order.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this item.
Okay. Would you like part of that motion, for Mr. Mayfield? We had 2 points in here that we needed to clarify for him to become the agent because of his background. Should that be part of this motion?
You could just add to the motion that you're approving the motion and that you have found that there is sufficient evidence of rehabilitation and that he is an acceptable agent.
Very good. All right. There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
One more thing on the application, it says 7 to 9 on Friday and Saturday. Does he have to amend it to be midnight?
There should be an amendment
Another
right
amendment
in
in
there,
One,
at the end, I believe, of the application.
it's the last, attachment.
Page 38.
Did you find it?
Found it.
Okay, perfect. All right, is there any other questions? Before I call the question, I did see Ms. Cervantes. She was on for public input. Are you okay? Okay, very good. All right, with that, I'm gonna just call the motion here, call the, question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. At this committee level, next Tuesday will be the city council. You're free to come, or you don't have to come, but, this wouldn't go into effect till after that meeting.
So you guys prove that I am rehabilitated. Prove that, all right?
I think you did that, I think you did that yourself.
Yes, sir, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Question.
Okay. All right, we do have, just two more items, but really only one. 0195-23, this is communication sponsored by Alder McCarthy on behalf of the City of Racine Police Department for the licensed premise report. And, we all have that attached to our agenda here. So Sergeant Legath, is there anything that you would like to bring to our attention?
Just the 1518, what we talked about at the last meeting, that's on this agenda, just so we're aware of that. And then that was that. Also, we are, I think everybody got an email about an incident that happened down this weekend in the 300 block of Main Street. We're looking into it. We just got it, so I don't have a ton of information on it, but we should have some more information at the next meeting.
Was there something going on, I heard there was something on Sixth Street too.
There was an accident, hit and run accident with a person, but the person was fine.
Okay.
That's what we had on, that's what was on Sixth Street.
There was a big commotion going on in the corner there, so I had concerns.
Yeah, no, that's what that was. So it was an accident, officers were dealing with that, so.
And 1518, no incidents over there this weekend?
Not that I was made aware of.
That does, it was brought up at our last meeting about the incident where there was all those cars parked there. Was there any further investigation I know that the agent's father had mentioned those weren't for the establishment. However, reading the report that's been provided to us, it does talk about people coming in and out of the tavern.
Yeah,
And the
it's
music.
documented on the sergeant's report along with his body camera and his squad video. Hard to dispute that.
Just a question for the attorney, if there continues to be a problem with that parking lot, I'm thinking like some of on Washington Avenue, we got somewhere, there's no parking 2 AM to 6 AM and stuff like that. Something if the police department looked at, we could probably do something like that to curb this action.
It would probably have to go through Public Works Standing Committee, and it would have to go through DPW. So the regulations that are on the street that state you can't park from certain hours is actually built into the ordinance. So if the committee and the common council wanted to change that, it would have to be an ordinance-specific request.
All right, thank you.
I did not realize River Run had a liquor license.
Forever. Anything jump out at you on this thing
There
at
is
all?
one on here that doesn't have a liquor license. Tax, fishing.
I saw that,
Yeah, oh, wait.
but I didn't.
I haven't gone in there to.
Yeah, I think, so those have been parking complaints.
Okay.
So that's what,
Just got onto here. but-
yeah, when I run my report, that's all ran up, so I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I can take care of that.
They don't have a license, I haven't been in there to make sure, but
I think they're just a carryout place,
I believe
am
so.
I right?
I can take care of that on my end, and I can get that, make sure that's not on that list.
I have one question
Okay?
in regards to, I understand you guys are low on manpower. Is there a policy in place, is it something where you don't have backup, so you don't contact these individuals? For me, there's not a lot we can do without a citation on these. So, I mean, is there a policy in place where you guys are not engaged in anything that's not physical in nature?
For which,
For 1518.
So 1518, I
Manpower,
did-
contact was not made with the tavern.
Yeah.
So,
so that one, with that being said, I did speak with the supervisor, he did end up citing, so she was cited for that, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Some of the reasons we look at when we go into establishments and how we don't go into is, it's gonna be officer safety, so how much manpower we have compared to how many people we're going into, the establishment we're going into.
so if you're
Kind of-
lacking manpower,
Yeah, so if there's two officers for the whole city, we're not gonna take those two officers and send them in to do a bar check when we have other officers. If we have 5 officers on the north side of the city and a couple other on the far west side, if something happens, we don't have cover. So we wanna always make sure we
I
have.
understand that, I just, yeah, thank you very much.
I have a question for Sergeant McGath. So in some of these places, are you finding that some of these places that have to close earlier, that people are navigating to other places and causing problems? Because I hear
That's
that.
traditionally how it's always been in the city. So most places see if there's gonna have a problem, sometimes they close early. I work third shift, so some bars would close early, because they're like, they're not feeling it, and people would migrate. So it's just one of the.
That's part of what I figure happened on Main Street this past weekend.
Are you gonna discuss that, or is that what we should be on?
Yeah, we gotta wait on the report, so that was just, that's what I was hearing from all this over the weekend.
Mhm.
Is there any other questions for the sergeant in regards to the licensed premise report? Not, it's an actionable item,
Motion to receive and file.
and move to receive and file. Good, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And move to receive and file. The next item, 0196-23, is communication sponsored by Alder McCarthy requesting any considerations, any formal expressions of concern, or any other actions pursuant to the police report, which I did not hear any. So, that would be another receive and file.
So moved.
All right, is there a second? All right, it's been seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have exhausted our agenda, but I would like for the record, to adjourn. Can somebody make that motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned at 5:43 by Alder Peterson to adjourn, so we are adjourned. Thank you. I gotta go run to the